Hi everyone, my name is Ravi. I'm the co-founder CEO of Zeeve, and today we are going to talk about zkRollups. So if you have attended any of our previous webinars talking about blockchain scalability, so we understand that there has been a lot of gap in terms of the prevailing scaling solutions as compared to zkRollups. And that's where we are focusing on zkRollups per se. It is currently the most advanced technology stack for launching a layer 2 solution, which is highly scalable. So what are the current gaps if you talk about the scaling solutions? Like if you talk about Ethereum, there's a much higher gas fee, there's a larger congestion, there's a lesser throughput if you launch on Ethereum or various other main chains. Some of the new layer ones like Solana, etc., have solved the problem of major gas fee, etc. But then they are limited by what kind of privacy you can implement. There is a lack of flexibility if you want to customize or configure your blockchains. So these are some of the limitations when we talk about launching your decentralized application on a layer 1. And even if you see some of the initial layer 2 solutions like side chains or state channels, etc., they again had limitations in terms of throughput or flexibility. And then came the era of Rollups. First came the optimistic Rollups, and optimistic Rollup has very good technology stack. They have been used by quite a few layer 2s, but there are some challenges, and one of the major challenges that optimistic Rollups depend on fraud proofs, and that's why the transaction finality take almost a week. So and that is called a withdrawal delay. And during that time, you cannot withdraw your funds back on the funds on layer 1 back to layer 2. And then, if you talk about, there's a lack of support for complex smart contract logic on some of the layer 2s like zkRollups. And interoperability, of course, is one of the biggest challenges, because as we see now, more and more startups and enterprises are looking at launching their own layer 2s. So of course, we don't want the liquidity to be further spread out or become thinned out. The idea is to have cross-chain liquidity, so interoperability challenges do exist, and how zkRollups are solving them. So straight away coming to Polygon CDK as one of the leading player in the zk space. Polygon launched their own zkEVM, a layer 2 using zero knowledge proofs in March of this year. And then later part of this last year, Polygon launched Polygon CDK, which is chain development kit. And Polygon CDK allows Web3 builders, startups, enterprises to launch their own layer 2 on Ethereum. And it's a very exciting stack which contains all the core components. So with Polygon CDK, it comes the entire stack of sequencer, aggregators, provers, and then at the same time, a default explorer and a native bridge between your layer 2 and Ethereum. So these are some of the pieces that Polygon CDK provides. And then there are a lot of initiatives, a lot of integrations are being done, new major releases are being planned, and a lot of development is being done to make it more and more robust. So some of the core value proposition for Polygon CDK are: one, it is zk security. So the way zkRollups work is that there is a prover which basically generates zero knowledge proofs for your transactions. And then these proofs are then submitted on the Ethereum chain. So one, you are cutting down, you're doing all the transactions on your layer 2. So that's why you get higher transaction throughput, at the same time, almost gasless transactions. But the major worry has always been on the decentralization and security part. So that is being covered by Ethereum as well as zero knowledge proofs. And as compared to optimistic Rollup, there is no 7-day withdrawal delay in the case of zkRollups. Second, it provides full sovereignty and customizability. So Polygon CDK is highly customizable and configurable. There are tons of configuration depending on your use case, depending on your features or attributes that you want to have, which align perfectly with your use case, you can do different kind of customizations, including privacy. If let's say somebody wants to launch a use case where privacy becomes very important, or you are focused on high throughput, or you're focused on gasless transactions. So it provides you a lot of automation, a lot of customization and configurability options. The third piece, as we discussed, as we are going to see more and more layer 2s coming in, we don't want liquidity to suffer because of lack of interoperability. So again, Polygon CDK has done a wonderful job. They have launched an LXLY bridge. Right now, the bridge allows you to natively bridge assets between your layer 2 and Ethereum. But with further subsequent releases, we have this whole LXLY bridge is going to further expand and will start providing atomic transactions between layer 2 and layer 2. So all the layer 2s built using CDK will have native interoperability, and then interoperability with Ethereum and other EVM chains. So it will become very easy to tap into the liquidity of Ethereum. And it's not just the liquidity, but other assets and messages can also be transacted using this interoperability. Now, coming to a high-level architecture view of Polygon CDK. So Polygon CDK allows you to launch your layer 2 zkRollups on Ethereum. And so if you want to launch an application-specific blockchain for any use case, for example, gaming, or your social tokens, or it may be payment use case, or it may be a supply chain track and trace use case, you can use Polygon CDK to launch your own layer 2, and you can control different configurations to manage that. Now, there are two major configurations with Polygon CDK, and that is largely based on how you manage the transaction data. So one is called a Rollup mode, and the second is Validium mode. And that's why we call it zkRollup or zk Validium. Now, in the case of Rollup, what happens is the transaction is posted on Ethereum, on-chain. And that means higher security, but of course, it will incur a higher fees also. So there would be, once the sequencer has sequenced the transactions and you are using call data on Ethereum for posting the transactions on Ethereum. So there's a faster settlement, there's a higher security, but at the same time, it leads to higher fee. Now, this is something very important if you're launching a public layer 2 chain, if you want your layer 2 to be more public in nature. So that's why, general purpose blockchains or application specific blockchains, which chains which are dealing into digital assets or DeFi, which are by default more public in nature. So they are using zkRollup, where the transactions are put on chain. And the second is the Validium mode. In the Validium mode, you have a cheaper settlement because the transactions, the default or real transactions are off-chain. Only the proofs are submitted on Ethereum. So in this case, you will get higher throughput because the transactions are off-chain. And so there are multiple options. You can create your own DA node, a data availability layer, where you can have all the transactions. There is a customizable DAC concept, which is data availability committee, which is like a permissioned consortium or committee to manage the data, the transaction data. And it is good for, gaming app, which requires higher throughput. And there is not much worry as far as if the data still resides off-chain. So both the configurations are very popular depending on use case, depending on what you want, whether your chain will be more public in nature, more private in nature, more hybrid in nature. Depending on that, you can make a choice whether to use zkRollup or zk Validium. End of the day, zkRollup per se is more of a general term, and the finer difference is based on how you are managing the transaction data. The different components of a CDK Rollup is, I'm covering the core components only. So one of the important pieces is data availability. So what is data availability? So the whole concept is that, and why data availability becomes very important. So just imagine that you are having your own layer 2 and you are doing all the transactions on layer 2. Now that there is a raw data of transactions. What you are submitting on Ethereum is just the proofs. the zero knowledge proofs, which has been generated by prover node, onto the Ethereum. Now, let's say somebody finds that the proofs that have been submitted, they are incorrect. Now, how to verify that? So you need to have access to the raw data, the transaction data. And that's how you can always regenerate the proofs. And then you can check it with the proofs that are submitted on the Ethereum. So this off-chain data or data availability becomes very important for verification and validation of the proofs which are residing on layer 1, like Ethereum. So that's why data availability becomes very important. Now, as we mentioned, in the case of ZK Validium, the data availability is pretty much off-chain, maybe residing in one node, or using a data availability committee. You can have n number of nodes or a consortium of nodes which are managing this data, and whenever a verification validation needs to be done, this data can be used for that purpose. And of course, if you talk about zkRollups, one option is you can post the data on Ethereum as call data. Highly secure data resides on Ethereum, but incurs a lot of gas fee. And to solve that problem, that if I want to have on-chain data, but at the same time, I want to save on cost or transaction throughput as compared to posting data on Ethereum. So there are a lot of third-party data availability solutions available today. Some of the prominent players in this space are, one is Celestia, then there's Avail. Avail was initially part of the Polygon ecosystem of products, Polygon Avail. Now it has been spinned off as a separate product called Avail. And then there is NearDA. Near Protocol has launched their own data availability layer, which can be utilized for your rollups. And then there is EigenDA. So these are 4 major players, and then more players are coming in, where they provide you on-chain. There is a blockchain running in. Your data availability has got hundreds of nodes which are decentralizing it. So they are pretty much on-chain, but at the same time, the cost of using these are much less as compared to posting data on Ethereum. So this is on data availability. So there are you can have your own data availability layer, your own node. You can use data availability committee. You can post your data on Ethereum, or you can use third party like Celestia or Avail. The second core component is sequencer. So sequencer pretty much plays the same role as in traditional POS chain what a validators play. So sequencer are responsible for executing, ordering, and batching the transactions. And they play a massive major role in ensuring the integrity and finality of transactions in the L2 network. And of course, sequencer charge a gas fee, and the gas fee, since it's your layer 2, you can have your native gas token, or you can choose to charge the gas fee on the native token of the layer 1. And then there is prover. So prover is the core component which defines zkRollups as compared to optimistic rollups. So prover is which run a sophisticated algorithm to generate zero knowledge proofs. And these zero knowledge cryptographic proofs, they are crucial for validating transactions on the Ethereum mainnet. So this is the same components presented diagrammatically. So CDK has got, you have RPC APIs through which users are doing transactions on your chain. And then you can have centralized or decentralized sequencer. So by default, there's a centralized sequencer, but then there are various decentralized sequencers like Espresso, Radius that you can use to further decentralize the sequencing part of the rollup. And then, you can choose to have, you can decide once the data has been batched, where the raw transaction data will be stored, whether it will be stored locally or using a data availability committee or using a third-party data availability layers. And then you may have choose whether it's based on how you have managed the DA, whether it's Validium or Rollup. And then you have prover, which generates the zero knowledge proofs. And then these proofs are submitted on Ethereum. Now that is the default flow, but an interop layer or the native bridge layer is now something which has come between prover and Ethereum, which are allowing various layer 2 zkRollups to interact with each other. The way I mentioned, bringing interoperability among the various layer 2s. So this was on the high-level architecture on Polygon CDK. Polygon CDK has already garnered a lot of traction in the market. There are this 20 plus chains is something which is present publicly on the Polygon website, but at the same time there are hundreds of other projects which have shown interest in using Polygon CDK to launch their own layer 2. There are some very big projects like At.Dr, which was part of the Substrate ecosystem, is launching their own CDK. There's Immutable, Palm Network, WireX, and so on and so forth. Some of the example use cases, as I mentioned, DeFi, gaming, social tokens. These are some of the early adopters of layer 2s, and we are going to see that anyone who is launching an application-specific blockchain, Polygon CDK or zkRollup, is the most advanced technology stack that can be used to launch your own layer 2. Some of the examples in the case of DeFi, we have Kanto, we have Rhea Network, we have IDEX, and there are quite a few other DeFi players. Most of the initiatives are still under wrap, but I think in January, February, and March, in this quarter, I think we are going to see many announcements as to different startups who are migrating, either building directly on layer 2, or they are migrating from, if they are running their decentralized app or DeFi app on layer 1, they are migrating to their own layer 2. Then, another use case is gaming, where, we have Immutable, we have Dogechain, we have GameSwift, and then there are again a lot of gaming players who are moving to zkRollups, launching their own layer 2s. Then we have payments and rewards, where WireX, Fuse, Gnosis Pay, there are quite a few other payment players, because in the case of payment players, they want higher transaction throughput, they want lesser gas fee because the number of transactions are huge. Same goes for social tokens, where the number of transactions are very high. And eventually, if you are running your decentralized app on a layer 1, of course, these gas fee is going to pile up over a period of time as you increase the number of transactions. The best option is to go for a layer 2, where you can have your native gas token, and at the same time, you can define the gas fee, you can make it gasless. Now, we at Zeeve have done native integration of account abstraction with zkRollup that allow you to in fact abstract the entire gas transactions also. So what is coming next? To recap, in terms of value propositions, zkRollup allows you to launch your layer 2 on Ethereum. So it's your own chain, but at the same and that's since it's your own chain, you have a lot of customization, configurability, and at the same time, you are secured by layer 1. So your layer 2 to Ethereum, you are secured and decentralized by Ethereum. And then you have much higher transaction throughput. And at the same time, the cost of transactions or per transaction is very, very low. Some of the emerging trends, as we mentioned, we are seeing a lot of traction in NFTs, gaming, metaverse projects, payment solutions, loyalty programs, the social tokens. We are also seeing a lot of early traction in the case of enterprises who are looking to launch their own consortium or a layer 2 chain, and where they can control privacy, compliances, and still get the benefits of decentralization and security from Ethereum. So this was a brief about what zkRollups are, how Polygon CDK is empowering launching your own zkRollup, your own layer 2 on Ethereum. Now, launching your own chain, of course, it requires a lot of expertise. One, it's a complex technology. So, of course, you need to have a thorough understanding and expertise on what rollups are, how they work. Second, deploying an enterprise-grade infrastructure itself requires a lot of DevOps expertise, and expertise of not just the underlying cloud, but also expertise on the blockchain protocol, and in this case, even more complex, the whole zkRollup piece. And then, you also require different third-party integrations. So if you're launching a DeFi app, you may require an on-ramp, off-ramp solution. You may require, a third-party data availability solution, or you may require decentralized Oracle or interoperability bridges. So having all those integrations, in fact, make it even more complex to build and launch your own layer 2. And then, depending on use case, what kind of configurations you should have, what kind of customizations can be done, all those again require a lot of effort. So these are some of the challenges when you plan to launch your own layer 2. You face these kind of challenges, and that's where Rollup as a service offering comes in. Rollup as a service offering is like a low code, no code platform, which makes your journey much easier. And that's where Zeeve comes in. We are one of the leading Rollup as a service provider in the world. We are official implementation partner for Polygon CDK, as well as a few of the other Rollup stacks like zkSync and Arbit from Orbit. So as implementation partner for Polygon CDK, we provide the entire support, starting from consulting on the kind of configurations and customizations you may require, depending on your use case, so that there's a perfect fit for your use case. And at the same time, setting up the entire enterprise-grade infrastructure for your Rollup, bringing all the third-party integrations. We have already partnered with 30 plus partners across oracles, interoperability, account abstraction, dev tools, etc., so that you don't need to worry about forging those partnerships, doing integrations manually. We have spend hundreds and thousands of hours to bring all those partners, bring native integration with your Rollup, so you can be up and running very quickly. We are very high on security. We are ISO 27001 and SOC 2 Type 2 and GDPR compliant, ensuring top-notch security and compliances for your layer 2 chain. And we provide white label block explorer, data index protocol, and then ongoing monitoring of your Rollup, including 24/7 monitoring, enterprise SLA, 99.9% uptime guarantee, and so on and so forth. And the best part is, if you are a layer 1 chain, or let's say you are running a DeFi app or any decentralized application on a layer 1 chain, and if you want to migrate, we provide migration assistance with zero data loss, zero downtime. So we help you seamlessly migrate your existing application or layer 1 chain as a layer 2 using Polygon CDK. One of the most interesting things that we have launched is we have launched one-click sandbox deployment for Polygon CDK. So if you want to launch a Polygon CDK chain, you can use our platform. You can log on to Zeeve. There's a free trial. You can launch your Polygon CDK sandbox in just a few clicks. So it will give you a complete DevNet with Block Explorer, with native bridge setup, and all the necessary components in place. And you can start deploying your smart contracts and testing it out. So it's a very good testing tool, or to launch your internal DevNet, so that you can try out how CDK works, what are the features, and it provides you all the configurations on the fly. You can set all the configurations and launch your chain. So as a next step, we are your partner for the Rollup chain. You can try out our one-click sandbox for Polygon CDK zkRollups. If you want, you can schedule a call with our team of Rollup experts. There is a Calendly link on the website. You can schedule a call with our experts, and we can help you navigate or provide more details as to what layer 2s are, how you can benefit out of it, what the costs and time efforts, etc. look like, bringing all different integrations, etc. And you can follow us on Twitter and LinkedIn to get frequent updates. We continue to announce more and more partnerships. A lot more updates are coming in as to our offering on Rollup as a service. And we'll be very glad to help you. Thank you. Thanks, everyone. Any questions anyone has? So if you do not have any questions, if you have any questions after the call, you can connect me with on LinkedIn or Twitter, and you can post your questions, or as I mentioned, you can schedule a call using our Calendly link on the website, and we'll be more than happy to help you.